Welcome to Mindful Monday, everyone. Today we're talking about moving beyond traditional capitalism and best practices of a gift and trade economy. So maybe you already trade things in your personal life, like clothing trades, or you participate in book clubs or book trades, which are fantastic, and continue that. Today's Mindful Monday is about how businesses can start to treat business decisions around this new way of working through gift and trade. And I'll share a few practices that we've learned through and a few best practices. So when we first moved here back in 2015, and then when we did our construction, we ended up self-funding because we didn't get any of the funding that was promised, which is a whole nother story. But we had finished our renovation, we were about to open, and we certainly needed some landscaping services, some garden design, considering we have an acre of gardens. One of my colleagues here on the island, she was just starting her sustainable landscaping business. And so Joanna and I connected, and it turned out that we could work on a trade basis. I talked about working with her on giving her some business consulting advice to grow her business, which she was just starting at the time. And she talked about trading me in exchange the landscaping design of our quinta. So the first best practice that I'll share is something that we learned in doing this, and that is to clearly define the terms of your trade. So when you clearly define the terms of your trade, and what we did is we actually wrote up a contract. And what we were doing in the beginning was we were doing a time for time trade. So I had set aside a couple hours, I think it was half a day, 3 to 4 hours every other week. And in exchange, she was going to give me 3 to 4 hours of actual working with her team, building things like our fire pit, designing our greenhouse, which is made of upcycled doors and windows, and designing the elements, the water symbol, the fire symbol, the earth and air symbols that we have here on our property. And so drawing up that contract, we were really clear about what each of us was going to provide. And we looked at comparables. For her, she knew what she wanted to charge as she was starting her business. And so I helped her actually look at what the market was for that service. And for me, I looked at what is a business coaching charge per hour. And so we looked at that as a basis for our trade. But then also we looked at, does this make sense? And about midway through, and we did this for about 6 months, it was about a 6-month period of trade that we did. And midway through, actually earlier, maybe it was even 2 months in, we did a check-in where we checked in and we looked at the contract and we said, hey, how's it going? Does this feel right for you? Are you feeling good about what you're offering and what you're getting? And I think that's a really big part of this first best practice is defining the terms of your trade, creating a point at which you check in with each other, and then last but not least, being clear on exiting the trade. So neither of us wanted to be doing business for free forever. It just happened to be because we were starting out in the business and we didn't have money, and she was starting out in her business and she could really value the business consulting advice that I was giving. What was really cool was that a year later, her business was thriving. Horta La Pimenta is the name of Joanna's business, and we had enough money to actually pay her to do part 2 of her design work here. And if you're curious to see some photos, I'll post some here later about her work. But it's an amazing example of trading between businesses and moving towards financial gain when it made sense to do that. So then my best practice number 2 I'm going to talk about. As so many of us have less money, some of us have no money in terms of revenue coming in right now, and we may want to support our friends or our business partners in their endeavors. And one example I'll give is my friend Amandine, who is starting bee making with her husband, João. And I really wanted to support her when I saw her Instagram posts and what she was doing. She's a bee maker. She's been a bee maker. She studied this for years. She made a great documentary, and she's doing it using, of course, our local bees and flowers. But I thought, wow, I can't afford to buy extra things right now. We're just not in that position. But she luckily wants to come to my yoga classes. And so what we did was we put together a trade where the value of a pack of my yoga classes, we calculated the value of honey for her. And so we were able to make a trade that expands the pie rather than just taking a piece of the pie. So what do I mean by that? Because she's trading me her honey, everything we do at Minuvita is about connecting people to the local culture, to local foods. And now I have yet another resource to give our clients when they eventually come back of a local supplier of a really amazing product. And maybe we'll be even able to do visits to where they actually make the honey all around the island. So expanding the pie rather than just creating ways to take the pie is my second best practice. And then lastly, the third best practice that I want to share with you is really more about moving towards the gift economy. So up until now, I've talked about trades and trading as a form of currency. But what I want to end with in this part of the discussion is giving of your gifts. Now, each of us has a unique talent. This is something we explore in my Mindful Business Leader course. Each of us has a purpose and something unique to offer. And when you can offer that simply because you know it's your purpose, you know it's your contribution to making the world a better place. And now more than ever, this is so critical. And when you can do that, this obviously depends on knowing, what are your minimum costs. For example, in our lodging business, if we wanted to make a stay here on a donation basis, it would certainly be in our best interest to provide a range, such as a minimum value that we'd be willing to accept to cover our costs. But giving of this experience of coming here to the Azores and connecting with the land, the nature, the people, the food, is what we are uniquely here to do following our purposes. And so can you look at what you do as a gift? And when you give of your gifts, whether it's art, whether it's writing, whether it's some other form of product that you have that illustrates your gifts, can you do that without expectation? And can you give it on a donation basis? Can you actually trust that some people will pay more and some people might pay less, but you're actually sharing of your gifts, and that is what your purpose is to be doing here. Now that one takes us a little further from kind of the business world way of thinking that I was certainly, and many of you I'm sure have been familiar with, but I do hope that we can move and evolve from that into a gift and trade economy. So here I want to end the discussion part and move into a practice. Today we're going to do a loving kindness meditation, also known as metta. So I want you to slowly bring one hand to your heart, just into the center of your chest, and one hand to your belly. And just taking a few breaths here, notice that when you inhale, there's a full breath, and then exhale, maybe the first time out through the mouth, letting yourself get heavy on what you're sitting on. Deep breath in, feeling whatever you're sitting on, you're pressing gently down into it to grow taller. And then exhale through the nose if you're ready, and if you can breathe in and out through the nose from here. Inhale. And exhale. And just feeling your connection to your breath. Feeling your hands on your body, noticing the subtle movements with each inhale and with each exhale. And starting to bring into heart-belly space the image of someone you work with, someone whose products that you purchase, or somebody who is your client. So either a customer or a patron with whom you work that you are a client for. And just go with whatever comes up first. And just taking a moment to recognize that this person in his or her own business is sharing their gifts. And either through your service or product, or through your supporting their product, this person is able to connect with their purpose. And just take a moment holding this person in your heart. Take a moment to send them some love and kindness. And just repeating this simple intention May you be safe. May you be healthy. And may you share your gifts selflessly. And slowly just feeling that person receiving your blessings. And gently letting them go, coming back to your breath, feeling your sit bones on the chair or whatever you're sitting on. And then take a moment to bring into your heart belly space someone that you don't normally work with. Maybe somebody that has turned you down, or maybe someone that you have turned down, whether because their product or your product was too expensive, or it wasn't right, or there was some reason you didn't do business with this person, or they didn't do business with you. And again, just go with whoever pops into your mind first. And now taking a moment to feel for yourself, recognizing that whether it was your decision not to move forward with them, or if it was their decision not to move forward with you, recognizing that you are sharing your gifts selflessly, that you are sharing your unique purpose in this world, and you can trust in sending yourself here this blessing, this intention. May you be safe. May you be healthy. And may you share your gifts selflessly. And then just letting that go, letting yourself feel that blessing, feeling that even when we don't connect in this way to expand our businesses or to be customers of other people's business, that we can still trust. And very slowly let us come back, bringing your hands down into your lap, maybe shake them out a little bit. It might be nice here to bring your arms up to the sky above you. Just take a deep breath in, reaching tall, and then exhale, slowly bringing your hands down to heart center. And just take a moment to feel in for all members in your community that are working to share their gifts, whether it is their gifts they share through their businesses, or whether they are supporting other companies and businesses in their gifts. And recognizing that when we come together as community, when we see each other as more than trading of financial metrics, more than just trading money for services, we create community. And we honor each other's gifts. When we recognize our own gifts, we create and solidify this sense of connection. So may you continue to feel this connection not only with yourself, but with your community, those with whom you do business, those with whom you sell to or buy from. Think of this in every transaction and consider implementing some of these best practices. Slowly opening your eyes. Okay, I see a bunch of folks here. Just want to say hello. Namaste, Helen, Zana, George. Hello, Heather. Hola, Fabio. Yes, Zana, boa ideia. Violante, Jessica, Raphael, Christopher, Harsha, nice, wonderful. Let me know if I can expand on any of these topics further. I want to make these short and sweet for you, but also inspire you to think beyond and outside of the box. And I want to just promote once again, I have before, but Charles Eisenstein's book. I don't know if this comes out backwards for you, but Sacred Economics by Charles Eisenstein is like the Bible on this stuff, and he's not the only one, but he's the one that kind of came into my life, and you can find him online, and he talks a lot about the gift and trade economy, so if you want more, you can look there. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week. Have a mindful week, and I look forward to being in touch again soon. Namaste.